Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise of the digital world, take those big sweeping claims, and really pull out the core information for you, give you that critical shortcut. Today, we're looking at a really powerful movement, one that's celebrating a huge milestone. They're describing it in their own words as a revolution that's beyond numbers, beyond nations, and beyond imagination. Quite something.
It really is. We're jumping into the source material around this victory with ASH system and the related on-passive technologies. They've just hit this major verified benchmark, 100,000 users and consumers, and they've given it this really dramatic name, the supercrossing.
The supercrossing, okay.
Yeah. So our mission today is basically to unpack these, well, pretty ambitious claims. We're not just going to redo the press release. We want to analyze the strategy, What does this supercrossing actually mean, both functionally and maybe philosophically?
Right. What's the promise here? For these participants, they're not just called users. The documents label them co-creators of destiny. So what's promised to them and maybe to the world? And critically, how does the tech they say they've built actually back that up?
Exactly. Because the core claim holding all this together is, well, it's enormous. The source material insists this isn't just a milestone, it's the dawn of a new digital civilization. And it's all guided by the founder, ASHMUFAREH.
And these 100,000 verified people, they're positioned as the foundational bricks of this new world.
Pretty much. Torchbearers of digital empowerment is the phrase used. They're carrying the light forward.
Okay, so to really get a handle on the scale of this claim, we probably need to start at the top, with the founder himself.
Makes sense.
All right, let's start with the central figure here, ASHMUFAREH. Throughout all the materials we looked at, he's consistently called the architect of a digital awakening.
Yeah, that title really stands out. It suggests something more than just, coding a platform. It implies he built a whole cultural environment around it.
A curated environment.
Exactly. And the documents, they really detail the structure he supposedly built. They emphasize 3 specific pillars.
Which are?
Okay, so it's a culture of giving, a science of automation, and a spirit of transformation.
Giving, automation, transformation.
Right. And this framing sets the whole movement up as something, well, more complex than your standard software company. The culture of giving seems to be the ethical framework, right? Making sure the science of automation, the tech part, is used ethically.
Which then leads to the spirit of transformation for the users.
That's the idea presented. The giving shapes the automation, which enables the transformation. It's positioned as an interconnected system.
And the original dream, the vision behind it all, it's laid out with this almost, prophetic quality.
It is. The stated goal was a world where automation meets compassion. That's the core phrase.
Automation meets compassion.
Yeah. The idea is using sophisticated AI, using digital truth, specifically so that ordinary people anywhere in the world could achieve extraordinary success.
Okay, so that definitely moves the goalposts beyond just making a profit. It sounds like they're setting a humanitarian benchmark for their tech.
That's exactly how it's framed. The tech is just the tool. Compassion is the driving force. They position the whole system as a potential solution to, big global economic problems.
How so?
Well, by using advanced automation, the claim is they can bypass a lot of the traditional barriers in finance and industry, gatekeepers, middlemen, that sort of thing,
Right.
providing a more accessible path to wealth, to dignity. So the goal isn't just market share. It's framed as global economic justice, powered by AI.
Okay. But this is where the narrative takes a really interesting turn, right?
Yeah.
The claims around the timing of the success, the validation, it gets quite spiritual.
It does. The source material flat out insists that this victory, this 100K crossing, has a divine appointment.
A divine appointment. What?
Yeah. And this is where we need to look at maybe the strategic purpose of using that kind of language. The movement claims the success isn't just luck or good timing. It's divinely timed, guided by faith. And what's really key here is how they interpret past events. The documents say that every delay the platform faced wasn't a setback. It was preparation.
Preparation?
Yeah. And every challenge wasn't a problem. It was purification.
Okay, so what does that narrative achieve for them? Because, in the regular tech world, delays usually mean, problems, technical difficulties, funding issues.
Risk, exactly. But here they're reframed as validation. It's quite clever, actually.
How so?
Well, by framing setbacks as like necessary steps for purification or getting ready, the movement kind of shields itself from criticism about its speed or operational hiccups.
Right, it shifts the whole conversation.
It does. It moves it away from a technical timeline and onto a spiritual one. And it builds incredible loyalty among those 100,000 verified users.
Because they are the ones who had the faith factor, as the documents call it. They waited for this divine proof moment.
Precisely. They stuck with it. So the 100K crossing isn't just hitting a number. It's the moment their faith is visibly, quantifiably verified by the data.
So you have this potent mix, the science of automation meeting divine appointment. It suggests the technology itself is almost operating under like a higher directive.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, it elevates the whole platform way beyond a normal business model. It suggests a kind of destiny for the people involved. The victory with ASH system is consistently described as being destined to succeed because of this divine plan.
So the 100,000 aren't just early adopters anymore.
No, they're transformed. They're the chosen, the faithful who believed when others doubted. And now at the Supercrossing, they're stepping into their promised season of reward.
Okay, so let's define this new era they claim is being driven by this 100,000 crossing. The documents are very clear. It's a transformation beyond numbers.
Right. It marks the movement not just as successful, but as an awakening, a moment of glory, that divine proof we mentioned.
And the comparisons they make, they're huge.
Incredibly ambitious, the source materials argue that previous revolutions, industrial, digital, even social movements don't really capture what's happening here.
Why not?
They suggest this movement takes the good parts of those earlier shifts, but fundamentally fixes the ethical problems, the distributional unfairness that often came with them.
Ah, okay. So the goal is framed as building an unstoppable future that specifically restores dignity through sustainable digital success.
Exactly. It positions the movement as the moral evolution beyond the flaws of past revolutions, which, often created massive inequality alongside progress.
And the verified 100K, they're the moral compass in this story.
That seems to be the implication. Their immediate impact is tied directly to that. They're instantly labeled torchbearers of digital empowerment.
Responsible for carrying ASHMUFAREH's light forward.
Right, which means their engagement isn't just optional, it's critical. The expectation is set. Every time they log in, it's also meant to be a login into purpose.
That's an active role, a mission-driven participation model.
It really is. It sets a high bar. Your individual success, the success promised to you as a user, is directly linked to this collective mission of uplifting humanity.
So it's establishing a kind of moral economy where the tech serves people first, and these 100,000 users are the living proof that the prophecy is being fulfilled.
That's the narrative. Yeah.
Okay, so we've established this really profound, philosophical, even spiritual framework. The big question then becomes, how does the actual tech support these, well, pretty altruistic claims?
Right. Let's move into the operational side. The crossing of the 100,000 verified users, according to the documents, establishes 3 essential elements for their vision of a new global digital economy.
And those are?
Credibility, confidence, and capability.
Credibility, confidence, capability.
And what's interesting here is how that verified status, the status of those 100K people, is directly linked to the system's tool.
They're not just passive users.
No, not at all. They're the initial verified group that sort of unlocks the real potential of the on-passive ecosystem. Their verification is presented as foundational to the platform's integrity claims.
Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts then. Because if they're claiming a science of automation, we need to understand the tools that are supposedly delivering this success. What are the specific on-passive components mentioned for this verified 100K class?
All right. First up is O-Verify. This is described as the crucial starting point. It's the tool that grants that initial verification and therefore credibility within the network.
In a world full of bots and scams, that makes sense.
Exactly. O-Verify's role is positioned as ensuring that these 100,000 members form a trusted, established, genuinely human network. It aims to create a high-trust digital space right from the outset.
Which you'd need for any kind of ethical transaction or global collaboration they're talking about.
Precisely. So that verified status itself becomes a valuable asset.
Okay. Once you're verified, what's next?
Then members access O-Wallet. The system is described as securing transactions, and this phrase is key, enabling sustainable income systems.
Sustainable income systems. Okay, what does that actually mean? Is it just a digital wallet like PayPal?
It implies more than that. The claim is that O-Wallet isn't just a payment processor. It's supposedly integrated with those automated business modules we mentioned earlier, the science of automation part.
Oh, yeah.
The idea is to ensure income streams for members are reliable, consistent. The sustainability part suggests maybe residual income or automated revenue flow.
So it's positioned as something that enables long-term financial stability, not just holding funds.
That's the pitch. And they specifically mention that seamless e-transactions through O-Wallet are a key deliverable in this upcoming mega success phase 1.
Got it. And that kind of functionality naturally flows into commerce.
Right.
Which brings us to OSHOP.
Right. OSHOP is explicitly named as the tool for facilitating global e-commerce.
And how does that involve the verified 100K?
Well, OSHOP is intended to strengthen economies by enabling cross-border trade. For the 100,000 members, this means they're plugged into a global marketplace powered by the system. The scale of the movement, they claim, allows OSHOP to maximize reach and reduce the usual friction of international selling.
So it potentially gives verified members access to customers way beyond their local area, turns that 100K into a kind of globally connected trading block.
That seems to be the vision, yes. A globally interconnected commercial force.
Okay. And the last tool mentioned is OConnect. This one facilitates real-time collaboration among members.
Yeah, if you're building a one family, you need a way to talk. OConnect sounds like the communication backbone that keeps everyone aligned.
The operational glue, maybe?
It's a good way to put it. The claim of real-time collaboration reinforces that idea of a unified, active, global family, not just scattered individuals using the same software. It's essential for coordinating that shared purpose, especially if members are meant to be torchbearers and co-creators. It keeps the mission cohesive across different countries and time zones.
And they mentioned another tool coming soon, OPeer.
Yes, the upcoming edition of OPeer for collaboration further underlines how important member-to-member connection is in their whole setup.
Okay, so taken together, the function of these tools seems to define the mission of the technology itself. The messaging keeps emphasizing that it's all built on pillars of ethical technology.
Right. The 100K are supposedly leading the charge towards ethical AI use and guaranteed secure transactions and digital trust.
There's that loop again between the philosophy and the function.
It's constant. The claim is that the technology is inherently for the people, by the people, and with the people. That's a core message. It actively ties the sophisticated AI, the science of automation, back to that humanitarian mission ASHMUFAREH is said to champion. The text serves the moral goal, not the other way around.
So, beyond the philosophy, what tangible benefits does this new economy promise? They talk about creating jobs.
Yes, actively creating jobs through the automated business modules. This is where the automation supposedly pays off directly for the members. These modules are positioned as direct ways for members to gain economic empowerment, driven by the system's design. The user isn't just making money from their own transactions, maybe, but benefiting from automated systems generating opportunities and revenue.
Potentially reducing the need for traditional jobs.
That seems to be part of the implication, yeah, offering alternative paths.
And the impact is supposed to go beyond just the members. They mentioned education.
Right. The source material claims a focus on educating youth through digital literacy programs. This suggests the impact is meant to be generational, community-wide.
So it's not just about individual income.
No, the commitment seems broader, community upliftment. Strengthening global economies via OSHOP's cross-border trade is part of that bigger picture, which positions the 100,000 verified members not just as successful users, but as ambassadors of digital hope, carrying a responsibility for global improvement.
Ambassadors of digital hope. Okay, that's quite a role. Let's dig a bit deeper into who these 100,000 users are supposed to be in their mission. The source material constantly uses this language of, like, deep connection, one family under one visionary mission.
Yes, building a digital ecosystem where everyone wins, that commitment to being a family rather than just a network is really central to the message.
And this unity is presented as truly global.
It is. The document specifically lists their spread. Innovators in Asia, visionaries in Africa, creators in Europe, and believers in the Americas, all supposedly united by a single global pulse.
That diversity combined with the idea of ideological unity, is presented as proof of the movement's power and universal appeal.
Exactly. And crucially, according to the source, this unity wasn't just organic growth. It was engineered by vision.
Engineered.
Meaning, it suggests every step, every application submitted, every verification processed, every piece of tech rolled out was deliberately leading to this specific moment, the supercrossing.
The moment the ecosystem breathes as one global heart.
Right. It reinforces that narrative of divine orchestration we talked about earlier. The supercrossing becomes the tangible proof that the global family is now complete, aligned, and ready for whatever comes next.
Preordained and perfectly timed.
That's the underlying message.
Now, what's really interesting is the stated motivation of these members. They're supposedly not bound by profit, but by purpose. That's a huge rhetorical shift for a tech platform.
It is, and it's crucial for building long-term loyalty and resilience. If the system was only judged on, say, immediate financial returns, it'd be vulnerable to market ups and downs.
But by redefining wealth,
They create a much more durable value proposition. The concept of wealth is explicitly described as being spiritual, intellectual, and collective.
okay, let's break that down. Spiritual, intellectual, collective wealth. What does that actually look like for someone participating in this?
Well, spiritual wealth seems to refer to that sense of alignment, purpose, dignity being restored, often linked back to the ethical framework and that idea of building souls that shine.
Right, and intellectual.
Intellectual wealth points to the shared knowledge, the learning opportunities within the ecosystem, maybe those digital literacy programs they mentioned.
Okay, and collective.
Collective wealth is about the shared economic improvement, the strength that comes from being part of this verified, unified global family. It means the value you get isn't just money in your wallet.
It includes shared knowledge, moral standing, personal growth.
Exactly. Which brings us back to that ultimate goal. The source states it's not just about building tech systems, it's about building souls that shine.
Turning the platform into a vehicle for personal and collective destiny.
That's the message. And this collective energy is what supposedly powers the energy of expansion.
Right, the 100,000 crossing isn't the end goal. It's just ignition.
Purely ignition. The moment the engine starts, every new verified user after this is meant to become an energy node in the growing digital grid of transformation.
So the energy driving the growth isn't just investment or marketing spend. It's defined as the mission itself.
Yeah, the belief that humanity is destined for digital freedom. And these 100,000 nodes are the ones powering the on-passive digital universe.
A self-sustaining world of learning, earning, sharing, growing.
That's the vision. And they provide specific examples of where this energy supposedly shows up in the real world.
Like what?
Like communities getting empowered through new digital access, bridging the digital divide, claims of young innovators finding purpose through AI education provided by the system, families rebuilding wealth using o-commerce via O-Shop, entrepreneurs breaking into global markets because of the verified network.
So the 100,000 are the initial carriers of this energy responsible for multiplying it outwards.
Unstoppable energy, as they frame it. Yeah.
Okay, so the supercrossing isn't the end, it's a transition. For those 100,000 verified members, this crossing kicks off what the source calls Mega Success Phase 1.
Right. A new operational wave. And the language around it is pretty dramatic. Dreams turn into data, and data turns into destiny.
Sounds big. So what does it mean practically? This phase promises a significant upgrade for those verified members, right?
Yeah, in terms of both access and benefits. Having shown their faith and stuck with it, this is presented as their immediate reward. They're specifically promised advanced features and better digital rewards, distinguishing them from maybe standard users who join later.
Okay, let's get specific. What concrete things are being rolled out for them in this phase, beyond just general income empowerment?
All right, the list is quite detailed. Verified members are set to get personalized user dashboards.
Suggesting a tailored experience based on their activity or role.
Seems like it. Tailored to their engagement and place in the network, they'll also get access to global verification analytics.
Data. What kind of data?
Data providing insights into the growth and performance of the whole verified network. This reinforces their role as co-creators who are kind of in the know about the system's health. And critically, rewards systems tied directly to their engagement within the platform are being activated, incentivizing active participation in the digital family.
And new collaboration tools, too, that O-peer thing.
Exactly. To support the one family idea as it scales, they're promised peer collaboration through O-peer, which is noted as rolling out soon.
Why is that important?
Well, as the family grows, especially towards that million mark, they need a dedicated, trusted communication channel that operates within the verified ecosystem, not just external tools.
Keeps it cohesive, reinforces the special status of the verified cohort as they lead the expansion.
That seems to be the idea. And, as we discussed, those seamless e-transactions via O-Wallet are a critical functional piece of this phase, making sure the money flows as the system grows.
Okay, so the whole Victory with Ash ecosystem isn't static. It's actively evolving its features based on hitting this critical mass.
And aiming high. The source material claims it's set to become the largest verified digital family on Earth.
But even this 100K milestone, as big as they make it sound, is framed as just the start.
Merely the beginning of an eternal wave. That's the phrase used.
An eternal wave,
Yeah.
okay, which points toward.
The next target. The focus immediately shifts to the next, much larger milestone, the million-member march.
1 million, wow, that's a big jump from 100,000.
Huge jump. The countdown is apparently already on for this massive expansion, and that's the point where the system is claimed to fully activate the next wave of automated abundance.
So 100K was ignition, 1 million is full activation.
That's the progression they lay out. And the ultimate promise tied to hitting that million mark, it really defines their global ambition.
Which is?
The source states the journey ahead promises the full expansion to 1 million members, then the global revenue rollout that follows, and, get this, the AI-powered lifestyle revolution that will define the next century.
Define the next century.
Yeah. That concluding statement positions this movement not just as a successful tech company, but as like the foundational entity for the global future. It explicitly says the AI revolution will be defined by the automated abundance the system enables.
So the 100,000 verified users provided the base, the data, the structure needed to launch something that they believe will globally reshape how people live and earn for the next 100 years.
It's an extraordinary claim of future dominance, yeah. Built on that initial supercrossing foundation, #tag outro.
Wow, well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive. Let's just quickly recap the main things we've unpacked from these source materials. We've looked at this profound claim of global transformation, really driven by a very unique mix of faith, a singular vision from the founder, and specific automated technology.
Yeah, and we broke down the claimed operational side, looking at that O suite, O Verify for trust, O Wallet for income, O Shop for commerce, O Connect for collaboration. The whole strategy seems to involve using this tech to fulfill what they see as a destiny-driven mission.
And you can't ignore that final, really triumphant message that runs through all their communications to their community. The system's alive, the movement's growing, victory is certain.
Right. And that certainty is entirely based on the premise that their technology serves a higher purpose, serves humanity united under what the materials call divine leadership.
Divine leadership, yeah.
And they really urge everyone to see this supercrossing, this 100,000 verified user mark, as the pivotal moment. The moment humanity supposedly crossed into a new digital era of abundance.
Shifting from prophecy to operational reality, and now accelerating towards that million-member march.
Exactly.
Which leaves us, and leaves you, the listener, with maybe one final thought to consider. The Victory with Ash system puts immense effort into blending these sophisticated tech claims, AI, automation, global e-commerce, with really deep spiritual and destiny-focused language. So what does it actually mean for technology and success to be declared divinely orchestrated here in the 21st century? And maybe more importantly, how does that very specific philosophical approach affect the perceived trust and the actual value of the platform? Not just for the people inside it, but for anyone outside looking in, trying to evaluate the scope and, frankly, the reality of this rapidly growing movement. Something to think about.